Hello, welcome to Fox Valley Today. I'm Barb Nadeau. Welcome to this show. You're going to be so glad that you're here today because we have got a lot of fun in store. My guest is Ann LeClaire. She is a wife and a mother, a homemaker, and a blogger, so I'm very fascinated about that. And she's filled our studio with the most wonderful fragrances. And this is incredible. You have brought a spread for us to enjoy. This is Ann LeClaire, Suburban Prairie Homemaker. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today.
That you needed to share your vision of what you were doing with your household.
Yes.
And I am just fascinated about this. You've been doing this for about 4 months. Tell us more.
Well, it started mainly as a way to share some experiences within our family with other people who may be experiencing something similar. My husband has celiac disease, and it seems that every time either one of us turns around these days, oh, my mother-in-law has my mother-in-law has celiac. I have a cousin, a niece, a nephew, somebody I know personally has just been diagnosed, and rather than have others basically try to recreate the wheel like we did when we first found out about Brian's diagnosis, it just was a better way to say, look, I'm going to put all of what I have and what I've learned in one place, and then when you have time, you can go back and check for recipes. We also have crafts on the blog, we have homemaking tips, we have all kinds of other information. My daughter is learning how to cook, and her recipes that she chooses and prepares, they're on there too, so it encourages people to learn to cook with their kids. There's just a lot there, and this way I'm less, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm more able to share with people who need to hear that gluten-free is not the end of the world.
Okay, wow. So really having to change your lifestyle was the impetus.
It was the impetus, yes.
Did you ever think you were
really rather be able to, like I said, there's no reason why somebody who finds out today that they have celiac disease or gluten intolerance or some other food allergy, there's no reason for them to be beating their heads against the wall, trying to think that this is rocket science. It's really not. It's rather easy. It just takes a few simple steps to figure it out.
Well, and I know that this is one of the biggest things that people are discovering, that there's a lot of people who are having a sensitivity or a full-blown terrible allergy to gluten, and that of course is what celiac disease is. If you've never heard of celiac disease, it's really, and I think maybe maybe there's a gray scale or a range, but I'm guessing more than likely people are on the way to becoming more and more allergic if they have a sensitivity to gluten. Tell our viewers more about what celiac disease is, and sometimes it's been called sprue.
Yes, the technical medical term is celiac sprue disease. It is characterized by bathroom issues. We'll keep it safe for everybody that way. Some people have a variety of symptoms. Some people are completely without symptoms.
Basically, you're not digesting the gluten.
You're not able to digest gluten that's found in wheat, barley, and rye. Sometimes it's found in oats because oats are usually processed in the same facilities that wheat is.
Poor wheat plant either.
Right.
It's just some people
the nature of the game.
Process that, some people cannot digest it, and then that causes just a terrible, as you said, distress, dietary distress. But more than that, it's damaging actually to their system overall, and ultimately can be fatal.
Yes, it becomes an autoimmune disease at some point. They're finding now that many diseases that have been previously labeled as something are actually celiac-based. Depression sometimes, rheumatoid arthritis. Some folks with lupus actually don't have lupus, they actually have celiac disease. And there are a whole host of other things. There might be people who have minor seasonal allergies, but if they were gluten-free, they may have no allergies at all. And then, like you said, there are others that it's true, the medical term is anaphylaxis. It's an allergic reaction. If they have any parts of gluten at all, they need to go to the emergency room. They're having a serious medical issue.
You have a lot of knowledge, and I'm glad that you're blogging. I think I need to get on this blog maybe every day. Suburban Prairie Homemaker is where you find the blog, and of course we'll share that on the screen during the show a couple times to let everybody know how you can get more information. But you know, my mother,
I think the knowledge now is much different than it was 15, 20, even farther back years ago. Our daughter had dairy sensitivities as an infant, and when you're the only mom in the grocery store reading the labels looking for hidden sources of dairy, it's a little disconcerting. Fortunately for us, we'd had that experience before we had my husband's diagnosis, so it was just one more thing to look for. We'd had that experience. I even had mentioned to the doctor, if anybody to have this happen to, we're probably the best equipped to handle it because we've already done all the research and the homework and we know what to look for. It's just a question of finding the right few websites just to get your feet under you, and then where do you go from here as far as diet.
You know, we are so, as a society, so you can make it from scratch.
You can make some from scratch.
Easier than you think.
Yes, it is. Usually it is. I've personally found that if I need something that I know has to work well in a hurry, I'll grab a box. We had issues with several items that I had tried recipes for that had a list of 30 ingredients, and they were going to cost between $30 and $50 to make. I'm sorry, the LeClaire family is on a budget just like everybody else. I can't justify $50 cookies. So to be able to walk into Walmart, Meijer, Jewel, Dominick's, buy a Betty Crocker gluten-free mix, it was really not only a lifesaver from a morale perspective, but also a budget saver too.
A busy mom, you know, whether, you know, whatever she's doing, whether she's teaching school or running a company, or you know, some vegetables and some dip and some, looks like they're coated pecans.
They are, those are sweet and spicy pecans. The ingredients are simply egg whites, some sugar, pumpkin pie spice, and some grated orange peel.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. And what about the dip?
The dip is almonds, ground almonds, tomato, olive oil, and salt. And it actually tastes like cheese. So
all right, so this is a cheese dip. It has no dairy in it at all.
No dairy at all.
Give us those ingredients again.
Ground almonds, a tomato, a half a cup of olive oil, and salt to taste.
And so you ground those almonds yourself? You just bought?
I bought them ground.
You bought them ground?
Yes, you can buy almond flour in many places. Amazon.com seems to have the best prices, and it also comes straight to your door, so you don't even have to leave your house to go buy it.
So far you've told us we should get out our crock pot, get that out of the closet, and then out of the pantry closet, and then also dust off that food processor and start using that as well.
Exactly. It's such a time saver. It makes everything easy.
I can't wait to taste that. That just sounds wonderful. And then you brought all these decadent desserts.
Yes. For St. Patrick's Day, we have Irish coffee blondies and coconut brownies, and also some Rolo cake bars.
Okay, wait a minute. Rolo cake bars. Here you have Rolo candies just rolled into that cake. Oh, that looks wonderful. Yes. And then on the end, those drizzled blondies.
Mm-hmm. And those, like I said, everything on that plate was made with a mix. Betty Crocker did all the work for me, which was nice.
So here we have something that is healthy, good for you. It's full of chocolate and things that we think that we can't eat, and it came out of a box.
Yes. It's healthier. I would not recommend a steady diet of Betty Crocker products. That would probably lead to obesity, among others.
You have to get the apple, the beans, and the other things in the diet as well.
Yes. For treats, though, there are so many occasions that we associate with food. It's nice to be able to take something that you can enjoy that you also know is safe for you.
It's just wonderful because people fail in their diets. They fail in their good intentions because they think they have to suffer. And what you're telling us is we don't have to suffer. We can enjoy, and as a matter of fact, feel even better about ourselves just from head to toe.
Exactly. Exactly. And people find, many people have actually gone gluten-free to try to lose weight. What you're losing is excess toxins that your body has just stored over time because it doesn't know what to do with the byproducts of this allergy that your body creates to defend itself.
So it kind of stores it in fat and kind of tucks it away.
It tucks it away, probably in places you don't want it tucked, like around your heart or other vital organs. It just really, you really do feel so much better. I can say for myself, having gone gluten-free, I lost 7 pounds I didn't even know I needed to lose. My husband lost 22, and you know Brian personally, he's not a big guy by any stretch. He had been very ill for several weeks, and then going gluten-free, he lost the rest of the weight that he had been carrying that he didn't even realize had been there.
It's fascinating. This is our life to, now we feel good. We have other things we can do with our life. You have included your sewing projects, your crafting projects.
Yes, anything and everything about the adventures of homemaking is on the blog. Pretty soon we'll have some gardening stuff up once the dirt defrosts.
What's your favorite thing that you've got on your blog?
Right now, probably the pillowcase dresses that we did as a Craftivism challenge in January. I believe that if God gives you a talent, you should use it to give back to the community. These projects that we feature are aimed at beginners, so if you've gotten a sewing machine for Christmas and you really don't know what to do with it, these are projects that you can start with very easily. Then to take that and be able to make something to give back to someone in need, it boosts your self-confidence and your self-esteem. It adds value to the projects that you make yourself, and you understand that it's quite a wonderful thing to be able to do.
Anne, I have been just so anxious to meet you and to have you come and to do this show. This is just a real treat, and I want to thank you so much for being my guest today. I can't believe it. We are out of time. The credits are rolling, and it smells too good in here, so after the show, we're just going to try out some of this almond dip. I want to thank Anne LeClaire for being my guest. You can find her at Suburban Prairie Homemaker.com. And I think you're going to be really glad you did. Anne, thank you so much.
Well, thanks so much for having me today.
And we will see you next time on Fox Valley Today.